Yeah. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are back with another banger, and this week we are here with part three, episode one of this spectacular talk, and we coming at you this Wednesday, and we talking about one and done all time on the college basketball circuit. And when you talk about this 2026 draft class, they're leaving. It's quite a few freshmen, that brings a lot of talk about this one and done. And this evening, I am joined with one of my big brothers who I look up to as some of the things he don't know that I tell him this evening. He gonna know this evening and today, man. I really enjoy watching this man grow up as a youngster and seeing the things that he did, not just as a family man, but as a man in general, and being the head of the table, being the head of that household, always leading by example. And I'm here this evening with great Griffey Griff. And I appreciate you joining me. How's it going this evening, great Griffey Griff?
I'm good, little bro. I'm good, Joe. Thanks for the introduction, man. I'm just cooling right now. Kind of tired, but I told you Monday I was gonna join your show, so I'm here, man. Ready to talk.
Yes, sir.
Ready to talk a little sports.
Yes, sir. And I appreciate it. And before we get into it, in the sports world and just in general in life itself, when you deal with certain things, it's tough. And, want to send the condolences out to the Collins family as well as the Clark family. Here from Level Up Sports 10, WTP Sports Dudes, every name you see at the bottom, great Griffey Griff as well. Just want to definitely send the condolences to that family, and knowing the Collins twins and what they brought to Stanford, what they brought to the game of basketball, being those brothers to set barriers. And me and great Griffey Griff, I'm gonna let him tell you about what we talked about before we jumped on, and anything you want to say on that as well this evening before we go into it.
First of all, which the was it Jared or Jaren?
Jason.
Jason. Okay, Jason. Yeah, Jason Collins. Like I said, two stand up dudes. Ever since I've been watching them play ball since I was a I, I think they were in college probably my right after I got out of high school. So, they right around my age. I was big fans of both of them when they were in college. Kind of not too much as they got to the pros because I had my own uh players standard that I like, but they were always solid players, solid guys. And over the years, when Jason finally came out with his homosexuality thing, you know, it was monumental for sports, you know.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, him setting the standard for people to be who they are, stand in their truth. I commend him for that. And like you say, condolences to the Collins family, to the Clark family. Young man, 30 years old, uh, passed away
So
from overdose on drugs. Drugs in the black community always been a big, big, big issue. And I don't know the demons that man was dealing with, but he obviously was going through something because I think before just had this overdose, he had an arrest in April for speeding and being caught with a controlled substance. So he's been he's been going through some things, and just my condolences goes out to the Clark family. Brandon Clark, he was a solid player also.
for
He
sure,
was in the
for
last
sure.
year. He was in the last year of a 4-year, $52 million contract that he signed a few years ago for a breakout season he had with the Memphis Grizzlies. So it's a big loss for not only his family but the organization and the NBA as well.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And just real quick, when it comes to certain things, we never know what we dealing with in life, man. I just want to send a shout out to the gang, man, to the homies in the chat, man, especially one take Zay, coming through with a call for me last night. Just sometimes you always got to send the calls through and check on your peoples, as we say here, WTP Sports Dudes. Check on your people. You never know what someone's going through, and the way everything is in the world today, we always got to make sure that we could be the village to raise that child, to raise that grown adult. We just don't know how much it could benefit them and what they're going through. But we not gonna keep the people waiting this evening, and we gonna
Oh,
bring them back.
nah.
I
But
got
you
it. I got it. We ain't gonna keep them waiting because we going right into the one and done this evening. We are not gonna keep the people waiting. And did you want to say anything else before we went to it? Go ahead.
Now, I was just gonna elaborate on what you was talking about with far as with the village, because when I first moved here from New Orleans, your dad was your dad was one of them people, bro, in the
Appreciate
neighborhood. He was always at the schools, always involved with y'all, always involved with everybody. Like Big Joe was everybody's dad when I moved
it,
up here,
sir.
man. Like I got a lot of respect for your dad, man, and I just wanted to touch bases on that with your community statement and let you know, man, that your family has always been a big pillar of the community, man, and your dad led the way. So big shout out to Big Joe Moss.
Man, I appreciate that. Honestly, man, that just got me a little bit. Some people really, when you
Now
go
I ain't
through,
forgot.
man, when you go through life, man, you don't realize certain things until you sometimes get older. And that's something I hear from a lot of people. You know, how my pops was always just that guy, man, always there for people. So I appreciate it, man. And as well as Sicko, STK, we got Marcy Nelson tuning in. We got Random Edit B9S tuning in. We appreciate you all tuning in this evening. Great Griffy Griff getting me all teary eyed, man. I appreciate it, bro.
Nah, for real
Because
though,
here,
bro.
man, it's just
Your dad was up there
realness,
at
man.
Westone. Your dad was up there at least 2-3 days a week, bro.
Appreciate
You
it,
know,
man.
when he
Appreciate it.
seen niggas cutting class, he was on our ass, telling us shit. Even after school going to the center, he was in the gym with us.
Yes,
So
sir. Yes, sir.
your dad was that guy, man. He was one of them people that not only looked out for his own kids, but everybody else's kids, man. So every time I see your dad, it's always love.
Man, I appreciate it, man, from the heart, man. Damn. Whew. Way to start off the show, man. Just, it make me think about some things and not before we get right into the show, because I'm working on my story, my documentary to bring to the people. If people follow me on Instagram at Level Up Sports 10, you will see some of the different pictures and images that, I'm dropping, and leads to the documentary that I'm gonna bring to you all this season live with different parts of my walks of my life. And I just didn't expect that this evening, Griff, man. I appreciate it. And man, just it makes me think about, the village, Unc bringing me here to WTP Sports Dudes, making Level Up Sports 10 my own, and just being able to have this platform to do what we do best, man. And I'm here to cook up, man. We got a banger. We got that one and done. We talking about this evening. We are talking about the greats of college basketball, one and done. We got so much to talk about. Good evening to everyone tuning in tonight. We appreciate you being here as well. And I got my favorite, of course, but tonight we are talking about one and done all time, top five. If you have a number one and done, if you have a top five, if you have a top 10, put it in the chat. Give us your thoughts. You got D Rose out there. You got Zion Williamson. You got B Easy, as they call him, Michael Beasley. You got KD Sniper, as they call him, Team Durant. You got your boy Cooper Flag out there with the new school. You had likes of Kyrie Irving playing less than 20 games, one and done. You got Shai Gilgeous Alexander, one of the new school, new era. They calling him a GOAT already in this time, and talking about this OKC team doing things that we haven't seen since Bean, rest in peace, and MJ, one of the greats and GOATs of all time that we talk about today, as well as Paolo Banchero from Duke. He's on this list. You got John Wall on this list. You got Anthony Davis on this list. My favorite, my guy, my all-time, Carmelo Anthony is my all-time one and done. That's my pick. I'm actually currently sitting here watching this 2003 championship in your hometown, great Griffy Griff. Since you wanted to tune in and be here tonight, in New Orleans,
Yeah,
Bourbon Street.
that's where Melo got that title in New Orleans against
Yes,
Kansas.
sir.
I,
Yes,
I I
sir.
had I had Kansas beating them that night. You know that Kansas had a tough team that year with Nick Collison and them guys, man. But Melo got the job done. I didn't think the freshman was gonna be able to beat that veteran squad.
Yes, sir. So,
He got it done against Heinrich now.
man,
But
so when we talk and we bring you here, what is your thoughts on an all-time one and done? You told me you had you a list. Give me some of those names on that list and talk to us about them. And we could go back and forth having our thoughts about this one and done, all-time
well,
list.
it's a couple names that you named in your introduction that I forgot all about. I forgot Shea was a one and done.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot Shea
Yes,
and
sir.
and even if I would have knew, I probably wouldn't have put him in this six because this six I got is pretty tough.
Yes, yes.
But the six names I got in no particular order: Carmelo. I'm gonna give you my order, but I'm gonna tell you the six names: Carmelo, Anthony Davis, John Wall, uh, Carmelo, Anthony Davis, John Wall. We got D Rose. We got Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant. That's my six. That's my six best one and done players. And
That's I like it. I like it.
yeah, that's my six. And I got Kyrie at honorable mention because he didn't play a full season in college. But in them 20 games he played, he displayed what he was gonna put on in the future in the NBA and what he's doing now, and arguably being named one of the most skillful players to ever play the game. So Kyrie's my honorable mention. At
For Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. You
one and
good.
done. I got John Wall.
Mm,
You know, you all you gotta do is go back and watch his high school mixtape. Wall was that guy in high school. Got to college, made it to the Elite Eight, drafted number one overall by the Wizards, countless All-Star games, all NBAs, playoff appearances until he got slowed down by some knee injuries. But I got Wall at five.
yep.
At
Man,
four,
that's whew.
at four, I got KD at four. KD, what he led the nation in scoring and rebounding,
Yes, sir.
or he had a
Yes,
or
sir.
I know he
He's
averaged a
averaging a
double
double
double,
double. Yep.
but
Averaged a double
I ain't for
double.
sure if he led the nation in scoring and rebounding, but he was up there.
He led the
And, you
nation in
know,
double doubles that season. He was
and
averaging 25.8, 11.1
yeah, he
rebounds.
led in double doubles. That's what he led in then. He led in
Yeah.
double doubles. That's what I was trying to get at. And so that I got KD at four for what he did at Texas. I don't really like the first round exit they had, but being a number two overall pick, uh year in, year out, all NBA, all-star selections, couple championships with the Golden State Warriors, still playing in his 18th season.
Yes,
I put
sir.
Durant at four. At three, I gotta give it to D Rose. Give it to D Rose. Make it his all-star tape in high school is crazy.
Yes,
Get the
sir.
men get the Memphis has one of the all-time years at Memphis. I think they lost one game until they lost the second game in the final four to Kansas because of missed free throws. They had that game won.
Yep.
Comes into the league number one overall pick, MVP in
Fresh
his third year.
freshman of the
And with
year, Conference
freshman,
USA.
freshman of the year, Conference USA, all that good stuff.
Man,
All American, first team, championship game. Then gets to be the first pick in his hometown of Chicago. Lights that city up. Rookie year, rookie of the year. Like I said, third year. What was his second or third year? He got MVP.
I want to say it was his third year.
Third year MVP.
I'm gonna check to be sure on that.
Countless playoff battles in the playoffs with LeBron his first few years.
Yeah.
Then blows out his knee, and that kind of like slows his career down. But I got D Rose at three. At number two, I got Anthony Davis.
Hmm.
I got Anthony Davis at 2. You know what he did at Kentucky. Defensive Player of the Year, double machine like Carmelo was. Had the paint on lock at Kentucky. His
Yeah,
offensive game wasn't yet all the way developed, but what he could do, it opened everything up for everybody else to get their buckets, and he just played his part and led them to a national championship freshman year, #1 overall pick. And without some of his injuries, we could be talking about him as one of the great power. He is a great power forward, but we could be possibly talking about him in the same breath as Tim Duncan's and the Kevin Garnett's and the Karl Malones. But
yes,
injuries
sir.
have slowed him down in the NBA. But I got him at #2 at my one and done. And I agree with you on the #1 player, Carmelo Anthony. #1, hands down. The
We got
freshman year he had, taking that Syracuse team to the national title, averaging a double double, being the #1 overall pick. I don't really like how his NBA career panned out because I think he wasn't that much of a winner in the NBA to me. But far as one and done players go, from college to NBA, and what he did in college, his freshman year, Carmelo Anthony is #1 overall on my list of one and done players.
for me, man. This was, you know, Kyrie Irving. I think when you think of one and done guard wise, of course, Kyrie Irving. We know what he brought to the table. Playing not even 20 games. I think he played like 17 games, 18 games, or what not to be exact. I can't remember. But seeing that, so I went ahead and took players that played the whole season, played more than the usual amount of games, played
You didn't
enough
find your
games
papers?
to where I could really put these guys in this category of my top five. So I got Cade Cunningham running a point guard. I got him dishing the ball to Derrick Rose, Carmelo Anthony, Kevin Durant, and Anthony Davis. That was my five. It was a tough one. My overall #1 being Carmelo Anthony. And when you speak on, one and dones, I think Carmelo Anthony don't get enough respect when you talk about one and done players, freshmen all time, because they forget about what he did at Syracuse. You talking about a team who were young men at the time. Melo coming in, you come from Baltimore. You go to a big university in Syracuse, you home in a way, being that close, but it's bigger than life, for him, I think, when you have to live up to so much, coming for you work from where you came from, and he just came in. One thing I remember most is seeing the smile on Carmelo Anthony's face. When he smiled in that tournament, you knew something special was coming. Or if he smiled after a bucket, it was something vicious on a dunk from Akeem Moore, Gary McNamara with a three, Dwayne. I mean, this team kept coming with different players. The bench, Boeheim, one of the legends of college basketball in the coaching world. So for me, I chose Carmelo Anthony hands down as the overall #1. Um, I fell in love with his game back when he was in high school playing against, LeBron. He didn't get a lot of steam. Everyone was talking about LeBron. Nothing against LeBron. I loved Carmelo Anthony. I wanted to take that guy that people didn't always think was as good as that next guy, even though they're both very good, very talented. And as we see, one is the GOAT, Melo is a Hall of Famer. And I get it when you say winning in the NBA. It's not the easiest. And I think we all sit back and wonder, what if, as I talked about, Melo would have got drafted to the Detroit Pistons? That dynasty could have kept building. But we
Man,
here.
that's one of. Did you ever put that on one of your on your what ifs?
Yes, sir.
Because
Sir.
that got to be one of the biggest one ifs in sports. If
Yeah, I
Mar
think,
if the Detroit Pistons would have drafted him instead of Darko Milicic,
oh
I
yeah.
think I asked that question on Facebook a few years ago, and one of one of our buddies in the colleagues, Parlay Poe, told me that it wouldn't have worked if he would have got drafted to Detroit. I said, man, you out of your mind.
I think
How
that
wouldn't it have worked with Larry Brown as the coach and Carmelo Anthony being a six man, rookie six man off the bench? What would,
sounds
what could Carmelo possibly have done to cause friction on that team? Being a being a rookie coming there, you got Chauncey Billups, Rasheed Wallace, Ben
they could
Wallace.
they could go back to the What If Wednesday that Mossberg of Level Up Sports did. They could check all that out. We chopped it up
Bruh, I'm
all
quite sure
about
y'all
this.
did.
Oh yeah. So we could give them that. And then when we talking about the all time, like I know I gave you a list. Any names out there that you could think of that we haven't spoke on when you think of all time one and dones, like you have a Cooper Flag out there. Of course, you have Duke, you have Jason Tatum, you got DeMarcus Cousins. A lot of people forget Trey Young.
Oh yeah,
That was
Cousins.
him and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander in that class with those guards going into the NBA. And we seeing how Shai has
What
transcended
Devin
into
Booker was
being
one and
GOAT.
done? Was Booker one and
Devin
done?
Booker played a couple years at Kentucky.
Oh, he played 2 years at Kentucky.
I believe 2 years at Kentucky.
Okay.
So, when you think about like Karl Anthony Towns, you hear a lot of Duke, you hear a lot of Kentucky.
Jason Tatum.
Yep, Jason
Jalen
Tatum.
Brown was one and done.
Jalen Brown over at California. And, I
Mhm.
watched Jalen Brown
Anthony
over at
Edwards.
California, man. Anthony Edwards over at Georgia. And it's so many, when you think of it, it's over 100 that's been selected. More than 100 since this era of the one and done started in 2006 when they came with this agreement and where you have to be at that age of turning 19 and year graduated and things like that. So where the game was, where it came from and how it changed, you could talk about Dr. J when you mention this of the ABA and how a lot of people felt that he was one that came over and did the one and done back then. It's so many different talks about the one and done. We got WTP Life tuning in as well, and we appreciate you tuning in with the question that you have also on set. He said, is one and done less appealing since the NIL? What's your thoughts on this one? Since the NIL, since the NIL is the one and done less appealing?
Oh, definitely. Because it's no reason to rush unless your game just ready. Like if you a player that back a few years ago that came into college as a freshman, you had your name out there as a potential first round pick, lottery pick, whatever, whatnot, and you may not had a good freshman year or whatever, and you may still get drafted in the first round. There's no rush to do it now.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you got to be aware of the class behind you, because if you don't take care of your business and not feel comfortable about your draft position after your freshman year, your sophomore, you may stay for your sophomore year, but you may have a freshman class coming in that's even better than the one you was in.
Yeah.
So it's a little risky, but at the same time, coming back for your sophomore year is never a bad thing because you're getting paid for it.
Yeah.
And the route to the NBA is not as hard as it was years ago. Like, you can stay in college 4 years or whatnot, and even if you're not a lottery pick, you can be a second round pick, late first round pick, second round pick, and you got to ground your way there. But you done already made money your 4 years of college.
Yeah, I agree, and I think
You know what I mean? So if
Yeah.
you go be an NBA player and willing to put in the work, it shouldn't really matter how many years it takes for you to get there, as long as you know you're gonna work hard to do it.
Yeah. And for me, is one and done. Yeah, is one and done less appealing since NIL. I think the writing's on the wall, man. When you talk about the changing of the guard, this the changing of the bag. You get offered a scholarship to come to school. Now you're getting paid on top of that scholarship.
Yeah,
I think you definitely it's less appealing, with the NIL, because you're looking at the possibility of making NBA money in your first year, in your second year having the types of money that 4 and 5th-year players make, depending on what the NIL was doing for you, depending on the sacrifices you willing to make and going to that next level or stand and receive that money. I think the NIL definitely has played a big part in some of the one and done, but also I think with the one and done, you have to be ready. You can't just go to the NBA no more. We've seen a lot of bust over the years, whether it's one and done through, getting hurt, which we don't wish that on them, but we just hate to see that type of thing happen when the possibility of getting that body stronger, that following year to come in that next year being much better for you. So
Exactly.
outside of those things, I think it definitely is less appealing, but you just don't know. It might be some people that's ready to make that jump and some people that's just not ready to make that jump
You're
as
right
well.
about it because you got to be ready from the standpoint of the skill level of all the players nowadays is just so high
Yeah,
that
definitely.
if you're not ready, you gonna get exposed quick,
Man, real quick, real
and
quick.
you gonna be out the league in no time.
Yeah.
So
We got
unless you getting drafted and getting some type of guaranteed contract that's gonna have you in the
mhm,
league for 3 or 4 years to start your career, like it's not really something to chance because you can just stay in school and make the money and
yeah.
come out when you're
Fly out.
ready.
Yep, with no problem. We got Sean tuning in, Poe in the building. We got him Go Blue in the building. Call him Champ in the building from that big season championship round for the Wolverine Rings. Yaxel and the gang running through that NCAA March Madness tournament. He said, "Nah, folks, still want to be." He said, "Nah, folks, still want to be in the association." I totally agree, man. People do want to be in that association. I think, for me, I think they just have to like. I want to see one and done. Don't get me wrong, but I want to see the one and done that's worth it.
But
Yes,
they
they
say it's a
are.
lot less now.
Yeah, it
People
is a
that's
lot less.
declaring.
Yeah, I think the NIL is a factor. I mean, I agree. They still want to get into the association. I totally agree with his comment, but I think when it comes to getting into that association, they definitely have to put that work in order to get there, especially when it comes to being that one and done, just thinking of that factor as well. And
And you
WTP
just
had another go ahead. What was you about to say?
and you just gotta know yourself, man. Like if you're not ready, you're not ready. Just go back to school, get that bag, and get better.
Yep, yep. Case, and we appreciate you tuning in. What's going on this evening? Appreciate you tuning in this evening. And Poe Parlay Poe of Blitzburg in the building. He said, "Nah, you get to come back once you see that draft order." Yeah, and that is a great point because I've noticed, some of the players have, went and been eligible with the agents and things like that, but have seen what it looked like and came back to college as well, on both sides of that. So that's a good point as well, Parlay Poe. And it's good to see you in the building this evening. I know
What
you
up,
sitting
Parlay Poe?
somewhere chilling with your Michigan ball cap on, with them Michigan colored J's on. Blitzburg, we can't wait to
He wish
see
he had
you.
his Boston Celtics colors on right now, but
Ooh.
that's a conversation for another day.
Ooh, you gonna start something with Parlay Poe. He about to light the chat up. And then we had WTP as well tuning in as well. We
Uh,
appreciate you, Unc, the CEO, the one that put us all together. He said our overseas players starting to see the Colgate route, being a college route with the NIL as the easier vehicle to the States. What's your thoughts on that? They don't got to
but
go find that certain card to get in. No offense, I'm not trying to say anything, but when
how
we
can
talking
you
these sports, I
you
think that's
can't
the
they always say Joe, what was those saying back in the day? Don't you can't knock the player, knock the game.
man.
Nah, I mean, like them international players only coming over here doing what we allowing them to do.
Right,
You
right,
know,
right, right.
you know
Told you he on you.
they get seasoned over there wherever they live in that playing with pros when they 13, 14 years old. Then come here and play college ball because they can still do it. Why not?
Yeah, yeah. He on you. He said. He
I
said. 100 years since your Knicks won. What's good with you, S4? That's my guy, S4 Gaming in the building. Appreciate you tuning in, man. You know what we doing tonight, man. We on that 2K26, man. Tap into your boy, Level Up Sports 10, Mossberg. I'm working on that gaming side as well. My man, S4 Gaming, man, throughout this past weekend, I've been having some time, having a rough time, but man, he's definitely made it easier when I jump on that 2K. We get the sticks going. I got a big, and he's a paint beast, but we'll get to that later, S4. But it's good to see you tuning in. And as Parlay Poe of Blissburg said, 100 years since.
It's all good. I know he go bring. I know he was gonna come back with something, but I just had to throw that shot at him because I ain't seen Big Homie in a minute. I take
Nah,
that.
you good. You good.
We ain't
man.
won in 100 years, but this might be our year.
Man, we got something for you on that. We gonna get your thoughts on that because you got a game Friday tonight, but we gonna get to that. And we talking about that NIL being that vehicle. And as you said, man, K-Knock the hustle. I think it definitely are starting to see that with that NIL because you've seen so many players like Amar of Michigan. He came on the scene, got him a national championship, and now he's going to the league. That's big business, when you talk about the game of basketball and the NIL and the way things is changing. Luka being from, where he's from overseas, Wemby. You got to think the game is changing. Shaw, nobody knows that these guys are not American until they look it up and figure those things out. So I think, seeing the overseas players doing what they do, taking that college route, I see nothing wrong with it. I think you have to do these things when you think about if I'm going out playing basketball, as much as I am to get better putting on these shows for these people, I'm going to take that route and what it takes to get there and be successful. I see nothing wrong with it. I think they definitely starting to see it.
Can I?
What's your thoughts?
It's also probably like a downside to that too, Moss, because that's why you think that may be the issue of why you seeing a lot of kids being able to play in the G League and then go back to college also.
Yeah, definitely.
Because that got to be something that they're putting in their evidence to fight these cases to get these years of eligibility back. Because these kids are actually playing in pro games and able to go back to college. So the international route got to have something to do with them being able to do that. So it's pros and cons to it. I'm not mad at the international players for being able to do it, but you're seeing the downside to it also when you see these American players getting drafted, leaving school, playing in the G League, then going back to college when they're 24 or 25.
Yeah.
Like that's the downside of this whole NIL thing. That's what I don't like about it. So they have to do some type of regulating to it to where it doesn't look so obviously unfair in a competitive standpoint. But like I said to begin with, you can't knock the game, can't knock the player, knock the game. But until they fix it, it's gonna be problems.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And I think that's one of the problems they have from allowing them international players to do what they do.
Yes, sir. And if you, like we said, if you're tuning in and you have, because we're talking about the one and done, and we had a few questions that came in, so we definitely want to answer those questions, and we appreciate those WTP Sports Dudes. And this is just episode 1. We're going to have so many different episodes, so many talks about not just the one and done, because we're talking about one and done all time. But when you think about college basketball, when you think about this 2026 draft class, you have no choice but to think about one and done. You have no choice but to think of where they will land and where they will be respectively in their career down the line, to where we talk about these guys and having those type of talks. And we had S4 Gaming, and he had a comment as well. He said, facts, you shouldn't be able to play a G League and get drafted, then try to get NIL in college just because they're young, man. It's so crazy, because the one thing we talk about, and I agree, we feel that they have to get a hold of it. They have to get a hold of it real fast, because if they don't get a hold of it, something's gonna go crazy. Something's definitely gonna go crazy. And I appreciate the comments coming in because Hughley and Odin has a lot of money in a bag. You speaking it to existence. We appreciate you tuning in. So when it comes to the one and done, you got my all-time great, of course, Parlay Poe. We appreciate it. And he said, but for the last 7 years, MVP was born outside the USA. And are we looking at another possible 8 straight? Because the way it's looking after last night's victory, man, that boy Wembanyama is something special. Good comment, and we appreciate you tuning in with that one as well, Parlay Poe. That's a big statement. Let me read that again. The last 7 years, MVP was born outside the USA. Think about that, great Griffey Griff. The last 7 years.
You're right.
The last 7 years.
You're right, bro.
Damian
I don't know
Porter.
what to say. I don't know what to say about it. I don't know what to say about it, man.
That's something to think about, and he's gonna make me go in and hit the archive button and do some research with that, because now I'm looking at from 2000 to now. Now I'm about to look at 1990 to 2026. I'm really about to look at this list, and I appreciate that comment, Parlay Poe of Bushburg in the building. What is that Hank's barbecue tasting like down there on High Street this evening? Shout out to Hank's barbecue. You need to.
But you got to think how many. Go ahead, bro. My bad. Go ahead, bro. My bad. How many international MVPs was it before this 7-year run?
You got to think of Tim Duncan for sure. Got to think of this is deep. This is a deep.
What thought. Dream?
Think of Olajuwon. You got to think Tim Duncan. You got to think. You got Dirk.
Yeah.
You got a great list of names out here. Marcella, I appreciate you tuning in, Marcella Diaz. When I say I'm for all the jokes and everything, I salute you. I appreciate you, because if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be here doing what I'm doing. This is why I do what I do, to come in and tap in, because if you want to put a name up there, go ahead and put Michael Finley. Do your research when you're talking about Mossberg lookalike, because I'm Mike Finley, and I can't wait to see the guy one day for sure. And then as for a game, he said, I feel USA kids are not taking ball serious how overseas players are. They play physical. New basketball players are soft to me, to be honest. Talk about it. We talking about a whole nother show that Mossberg was already putting together and downloading and getting ready to put to work, because I think this is something that need to be talked about too. The softness in the NBA, the toughness, and like you said, the players coming in overseas. With this 26 class show some toughness moving forward, because we're not talking about this 26 class, and we're not talking about one and done without this class coming in. I think seeing AJ, the Banser, my God, I'm going to talk about him like I talk about Melo 15, 20 years from now, man. I think he's special. I think he's generational. You got Boozer, Cameron out there, Cameron Boozer. You got Darren Peterson. Everybody knows what he's bringing to the tables. I like the guard Kingston Flemings, out of Houston. I mean, you're talking about Caleb Wilson as well. I mean, it's so many superstars in this new draft class that when you talking about the overseas, you're talking about Mara, who's going to be coming in with this draft class. It's a lot of players. And he said, yo, Mike, yes, and we appreciate it. And then Parlay Poe, he said, Nash and Shy, both from Canada, both have multiple MVPs. You got Canada, you got Germany, you got the Virgin Islands. Look like we about to have France popping off as well. So it's a lot of things.
France go pop off there. About 3, 4, 5 years.
Yes,
Wemby, Wemby's gonna win. Wemby's gonna win multiple MVPs.
Man, multiple MVPs, man. And we definitely got a show for you all. So make sure you be tuned in for that one. I'm not gonna tell you when, But make sure you got your notifications on because we got something special for y'all on that side of that man, Wembanyama. And it's just special to see a talent like him coming in and doing what he do, especially at the big man position. Because, for me, I watched him from when he was playing younger and people was looking like, man, he's not going to be nothing in the NBA. He's too slim. He's too soft. But I felt that he would change the game when I seen the way he shoot the ball and knowing what KD does when he shoot the ball. But we're not going to keep the people away from too much of what it is. But I'm going to come right back to you because I could talk all day. When I say all day, I'm talking about 24/7, 48-14, however you want to put the math together. I could give it to you just like that. All time one and dones. Like you said, mine was Carmelo Anthony. You took yours as Anthony Davis. I'm not
Carmelo Anthony was my number one.
Carmelo Anthony was your number one.
Mm-hmm.
I was really looking at so many different episodes, angles that I'm gonna hit with this one and done. But since we're talking about one and dones, out of this 2026 draft class, who do you think, since we talking about one and dones right now, who do you think out of this draft class will be that one and done that you have at the top of your list?
It's hard to say, man.
It's tough.
Like it would be easy to say the Banster because of his size, his skill set, and everything. But the way the game is being played now, like you got to look at I'm looking at the two smaller guys, the Kingston kid from Houston you was talking about, but also Darius Acuff.
Yeah.
I'm looking at him and I'm seeing Tyrese Maxey all in him.
Man, it's
so and how tall is the Kingston kid?
Kingston Fleming, he's about Derrick Rose height, about 6'2", about 6'1", 6'2". And it's the thing, man. If you watch Kingston Fleming, when he get to that bucket and he dunked that, but when he elevates like Derrick Rose, man. No, I know when I talk about Derrick Rose, I know the level we talking about. But when you talk about the one and dones, you have comparisons on this list of NBA players. I compared Kingston Fleming. I said he reminded me of Derrick Rose. And when he started taking off, as you've seen late in the season, and then that Big 12 tournament, you've seen it in the NCAA tournament, that kid can go, that kid can jump. Man, he's a special talent. For me, I'm AJ. Everybody knows Mossberg. I'm going AJ Dembele. I think it's a generational talent. When I seen him playing in high school, I watched him and Darren Peterson in battles in high school. The most memorable when Darren Peterson did get the win, and Darren Peterson, I think, had 50. AJ had a high, I think 47. Peterson might have had 51. I mean, the game was so crazy. So, for me, I'm going AJ Dembele. And he said, yes, sir. S4 game, and I appreciate you tuning in. He said, yes, sir. We were talking about that last night. Yeah, talking about it big time, man, about this draft class and so much more. And he went with Derrick Rose. Shout out to S4 game and straight out of Memphis. He said he didn't want to be biased, but he said he felt Derrick Rose was his one and done. I commend you, bro. Being a hometown from Memphis, I don't see that Derrick Rose wasn't your guy. Being from Memphis, him coming to play for Memphis, I don't see why he wasn't your guy. And we have my guy post-game in the building, and I appreciate you tuning in as well. Post-game, he said, it's the depth of this class for me. Yes, indeed, on a D-Rose comparison with Kingston Fleming as well. And Parlay Poe tuned in. He said, look at the Wizards' potential starters with AJ going one. Listen, Parlay Poe, you already know, man. Anybody out there watching this, wherever AJ Dembele go, Mossberg of Level Up Sports 10 needs that jersey ASAP. That's my guy, man. I've been talking AJ. I'm so AJ, man. That's my guy, man. Like he's the man. Like that is him. Any other thoughts on just one and done? Anything you want to say to the people? Because we coming to you And guess what we coming to you for, Griff? Getting your thoughts
What's
tonight.
that?
It's game 5. It's game 5.
What,
What's your
Cleveland,
thoughts tonight?
Detroit?
What's your thoughts on game 5? Cleveland,
My game.
Detroit tonight.
All I think the two X factors is Jalen Duran. If Detroit wants to win this game, Duran has to show up. Who's winning? The game on right now. What you got the score of it?
I don't never check the score when the game's on because I want to make my pick and then I go check the score after that. I know what my pick is already, but I like talking about it and then watching it like, man, we might have been right on point with this one. That's just how I'll be attacking it when the NBA is on. But it is on. Should have came on at 7:30, I believe.
But yeah, like I said,
8:30.
I think I like the Cavs tonight. I like the way Mitchell and Harden playing right now. I think if Mobley can step up and give him some type of help, that Cleveland should win this series. And I like him tonight.
Yeah.
Cade's doing what Cade do. You know, they need if Durham would do anything that he was doing in the regular season for them right now, Detroit would have had this series over with by now. But he's just not stepping up to the plate yet. So the X factors, like I said, the night's game, I like Durham on Detroit and Mobley with Cleveland, but I'm taking Cleveland in this game tonight. I like the way Harden and Mitchell's been playing the last couple games, and I don't see Cade doesn't have that second option that Cleveland has with Harden and Mitchell
Yes, sir.
consistently.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Even
sir.
though Tobias Harris has been putting up big numbers in these playoffs, I just don't trust him to continue doing it.
Man, I like that pick. For me, I'm a big Cade Cunningham fan. I think for them to win tonight, I think it determines him and his turnovers. I know everybody been on his back about his turnovers, things like that in these playoffs. Um, I think he's doing whatever it takes, for this Detroit team to get to this next round, whatever it is. And people got to forget he did come into these playoffs, not even 100%. So, for me, I'm taking Cade Cunningham. You're talking about a 6'8" monster, one and done. One of my guys coming off that one and done bitch. We're going to get to many more episodes of this one and done series. We just getting started with this. So make sure if you're tuning in and if you're watching a video, man, give me your all-time one and done pick. Give us your all-time top 5, top 10. Just give us your thoughts even because we're going to bring it to the screen and we're going to talk about it. But this is only episode 1. Mossberg of Level Up Sports going to try to bring you at least 3 great episodes. And the next one will have post-game sports in the building. We're going to try to get One Take Zay in the building. We're going to try to get SEC Sean in the building. We're going to try to get Parlay Poe of Blissburg in the building. We're going to try to get City League TV in the building. And a man that put us all together, the CEO of it all, WTP Sports Dudes. We're going to try to get him as well. When I say everyone is busy respectively, man, we stay busy in what we doing. But when we come to the screen, when we in our text message, man, we just going back and forth throughout the day. And you see the man here with us this evening. Great Griffey Griff. He's definitely going to be in the building with us more. And I appreciate you joining this evening with me. I call you big bro. I got to call you Great Griffey Griff on here. I understand that. But you big bro to me. I'm not even going time sometimes when I call you either Great Griffey Griff or Big Bro. That's just little bro keeping the moderation going. That's all.
Yeah.
Don't worry
definitely,
about that.
Definitely.
But yeah, man, I'm just enjoyed to be able to bring you all just the different talks that we bring together throughout the week, and things that we sit and we actually talk about from when we were younger, as we get older, and as we continue to enjoy and celebrate life through being thankful and being blessed, man. Anything that you got to say to the people this evening, Great Griffey Griff?
Just to build off what you were saying, the platform that y'all done build, you, the countless people that you working with, man, y'all done started something real nice, and I'm just appreciative of y'all allowing me to speak my mind on on this good platform that y'all done established, man. Like, just keep it going, keep it building, and big things in the future. I
Man,
see you done got your viewers up, your followers, your listeners up, man.
appreciate it, man.
You're on the mic, you're sounding good, you're speaking fluently. You know what I mean? You're sounding like a good host that you is. So just keep doing what you're doing, bro.
And I appreciate it, man. And I'm humble. Hearing those things, man, coming from, a young age, being a young guy, coming to a neighborhood I never knew what it would do, man. But it molded me into the man I become. And I wouldn't have it any other way. To be growing up and, raised in a Short North and Windsor Terrace, which made me into the man I am, taught me and showed me so much respect, both of those neighborhoods. And to be able to know the people I know. And then when I went to East High School, meeting a whole different, quadrant of people, I would say, because, on the AAU circuit, coaching circuit, friendship level, but that team, that '01 brotherhood. I'm just giving you little dibbles and dabbles of the story that's coming to you soon. And that's going to be my documentary, my story. Mossberg, little insight of my life and how it started for me, basketball, as well as if you see some of the food on my Instagram channel, you see that I love doing food. And make sure this weekend, starting Friday, Saturday this weekend, we got KT's Good Eats. We're going to be at Witten Farm Market on the east side of Columbus, 3341 Canal. That's Winchester Pike, 3341 Winchester Pike. When I say make sure you come out, we going to have them egg rolls going. We got the fish dinners going this weekend. We got the pulled pork sandwiches, and we're going to be there Saturday and Sunday. And it's a 2-for-1 special because that Witten Market, when I say the baked goods, they got the ice cream, coffee, macchiatos, special. And the fruit, impeccable, man. So shout out to everyone that's been a part of this. We appreciate. Make sure you tap in the Social Nutrition on that east side, man. Some of those drinks is so flavorful. And I think it's the peach tea that Unc likes. He likes that peach tea out there at Social Nutrition. So make sure you tap in. You see all the channels scrolling at the bottom. Make sure you stay tapped in with the gang, man. We just appreciate everything that, we've been able to bring to you. And we just getting started. So tap in with your boy Mossberg, Level Up Sports. I'm on Instagram as well. I'm on Facebook, JOE Moss. That's me on Facebook, and Level Up Sports 10 on Instagram. We also are on Spotify, WTP Sports Dudes 2026. And we have that WTPSportsDudes.com website. Make sure you go check us out. Make sure you check us out and tap into that IG, because I could be putting an edit together of you, and I would love to do so. Billie Jean is not my lover. Lauren Jillings, we appreciate it, and that movie was something special. And we appreciate everyone tuning in this evening. As we were here, and as City League say, we was in the building, and now we out, man, as we always do, man. We hit you with the peace sign. Great Griffey Griff, big bro. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you tuning in.
Thank you, Joe, man.
One
Love you, little bro.
Too. Love you too, man. Coming next week, man. And we out, man.
For sure.
Peace. Love.
Be safe.
Yes, sir.